Hi, let's talk about automatic account determination concept. First thing, it is a integration scenario between SAP, MM and FI modules, where FI people will give us the GL accounts and we will map these GL accounts according to our valuation class and transaction keys. Okay, we'll discuss on this how we map. So our main aim using this concept, SAP has given that whenever there is a goods movements in the system, either it may be goods received or goods issue. When you do goods movement, goods receipt, your stock is increasing. When you do goods movement, goods issue, your stock is decreasing, right? So when you perform these goods movements, we want the system to track these transactions in their respective GL accounts, and that should happen automatically. There shouldn't be any human intervention is required. That is the main aim, this concept, automatic account determination. Understand this automatic account determination happens in SD, FI and PP modules also. For example, with SD, whenever customer returns the goods, there will be a goods movement, right? But this automatic account determination is more important in SAP MM because goods movement happens more in SAP MM area. So that's the reason SAP MM is more involved in setting this or configuring this automatic account determination. So let's take an example. You are receiving the goods. When you are receiving the goods, your stock is increasing. When your stock is increasing, usually, let's say an example where in your plant you're sitting and your job is to make a note of what you are receiving per day, and you have a book that you maintain. So you make a note that you have received this much of stock and price of this is this much, total we have received this much, and you put that stock into your inventory. So your inventory already has 100, and now this becomes another plus of this whatever amount, let's say 50, 150 it became, right? So like that, so there are some general ledgers that you have to maintain where you track these movements. In this case, it is goods received movement. You are receiving the stock. And when you receive the stock and you have to pay for that vendor who supplied the stock, right? So there will be another entry to pay the vendor on how many quantities you received and how much price it is, and it will be in the credit side. The same example, please take it, but now think that it is system who is handling these two movements. So for that, SAP has given whenever I say inventory account, it is represented by BSX transaction key. So whenever I see BSX, it means it is an inventory account. Whenever I see WRX, it is a goods receipt clearing account. So I received stock and I have to pay the vendor clearing this account, right? And this will have one GL account where it tracks all the inventory related transactions. Here it tracks all the payments which are liable to pay the vendor. Okay. So the same example, if we further discuss, like when an user perform a goods received using MyGo, and we will see movement type 101. Okay. Goods received against purchase order, movement type will be 101. If you use movement type 101, using this movement type, if you do goods received, this movement type converts that stock into your stock directly. So you're taking this stock to your stock directly. That is the case you use movement type 101. You all know there is another movement type 101K, which is for consignment. What happens in this movement type 101K? You will take the stock into your warehouse, but because of the movement type 101K, it cannot be your own stock. Instead, it will be a consignment stock, which means there will be no increase in your inventory. Like that, there are many movement types, right? If you use 101K here, the inventory is going to be KON, not BSX, right? KON transaction key will be used. Since it is here in this example, movement type is 101, so you are increasing directly your inventory. So BSX will come into picture. Remember, these transaction keys are assigned with movement type. Based on the movement type only, these transaction keys are triggered. Since it is BSX, for that stock you received, you have to pay the vendor. So WRX account will come. Simple transaction, right? So till here it is clear. But now let's take one example. You want to have, when you receive goods receipt for finished products, you want to have a for finished goods receipt with movement type 101, transaction keys will be same. But you want one GL account for finished goods stock and one more GL account for raw material goods receipt and one more GL account for trading goods. Like that, you wanted not just directly all goods received will have one GL account. Instead, you wanted one GL account for finished goods, another GL account for raw materials, another GL account for trading and services. So to do that, here there is a bifurcation depending on the material type, right? How do we get this done in the system, right? So to get this done in the system, we have SAP came up with a solution validation class. What is this validation class? This validation class differentiates these materials. If it is a finished product, if it is a raw material, if it is a trading goods, this validation class will defines. So this validation class comes from the material, behavior, and which you maintain in the material master. Clear, right? Again, this validation class represents the finished products or raw material categories. So within the finished products also, you can have 1 or 2, 3, 4 GL accounts. That depends on the scenario. So now let's say, for example, you have one GL account for finished products, one GL account for raw materials, one GL account for trading goods, one GL account for services. So you are categorizing the material based on the material type, and these details are stored in the material master. So whenever you do MIGO transaction, which means either you're going to receive goods or issue goods, so this time movement type is important. Based on this movement type, transaction keys are triggered. And again, we just don't want the transaction keys directly have validation GL accounts. Instead, we want these materials to be categorized. So depending on the material type, you're going to assign the GL accounts, which means you need to have set of GL accounts, you need to have the transaction keys, and you need to have valuation class. So this is the equation which you maintain in OBYC. You understood that transaction keys, you understood about valuation class. What about this chart of accounts? Chart of accounts, you know, right? They are set of GL accounts are maintained at company code level. Then how come this comes in the system? We will see, right? But this transaction will give combining these three in one place and allow us to assign to one particular GL account based on this equation. Once all the settings are done, are, are correctly configured, when you completed MyGo transaction, system automatically generate a FI document, and if you open that FI document, you will see the respective GL accounts triggered using this equation, which you maintained in OBYC settings. Clear, right? So let's start. For example, let's say like you have these GL accounts, okay, and these GL accounts you wanted. So this one should be triggered with BSX. This one should be triggered with WRX. Okay, you know, right? These are transaction keys, and these are GL accounts. And if you want these transaction keys to trigger, your moment type should be 101. So if you want this moment type 101 should come, means you have to do GR. To do this GR, to trigger this 101, you should be standard PO you have to do, not consignment PO. Consignment PO will not give you BSX, it will give you KON. Since you are using standard PO, so that's how it will come. System will give you BSX as a transaction key. So you should create one PO, and after creating the PO, you should do the GR. After doing the GR, system should pick 101 moment type. After that, because it is 101, so you should have BSX and WRX transaction key should be triggered. And to these transaction keys, these GL accounts are assigned. Let's say, okay, these two are our GL accounts. This GL account is for BSX, this GL account for WRX. Now, how to get this done in the system, right? So you also know that these GL accounts are linked with valuation class. Okay, so you need to have now valuation classes, right? So now, so to talk about this valuation class, it is a further classification of material type. Okay, it is a further classification of material type. So what does it mean? For example, my material is, so material, this is my material type. So what is my material type? It should show that it is finished good, or it is semi finished goods, or it is raw material, right? So these are all my material types. Now let's say within this material, within this finished product, and you have a one finished product as car, okay, and you have another finished product as bike, and you have another finished product as auto. So right, so now so get this here, and these are finished products, right? So now if you have a valuation class for car, let's say for example, this is your, when I say valuation class, it further classifies the material type, right? So Now it is a finished product, but it has a one finished product as car, and you want to have one GL account for this car. Okay, this is going to be like your valuation class here. So one GL account for valuation class. Okay, here let's say for example you don't want GL account at finished product material type, you want GL account at valuation class. Okay, what if you have GL account at finished product? So you will have one GL account for all this, but you want individual GL accounts for all. For car you want to have, for car you want to have AAA, for bike you want to have BBB, for cars autos you want to have CCC. This way you can track easily, right? Now to tackle this scenario, SAP has come up with this concept valuation class. Let's say this valuation class is looking like it is directly proportional with valuation material type, right? And for example, in this semi-finished products also, let's take, so this is desktop. So this is semi-finished product. One is desktop, one other one is RAM, another one is, let's say, keyboard. These are all semi-finished products, right? Let's say this is monitor, screen. And raw material also you buy mouse as raw material, you buy USB cables as raw material, and you buy motherboard as raw materials. Okay, so now if you see here, this has one valuation class. Okay, this has one valuation class, this has one valuation class, and this has one valuation class, this has one valuation class, this has one valuation class. So now if you assign this valuation class directly to material type, in the drop down you will see all of this. Yes or no? So you will see 9. In real-time scenario, you have not only just finished, semi-finished raw materials, there will be so many material types. Not so many, but there are many, right? So these kind of material types, if you think at least three, but there are many nuts, bolts, screws, wires, so many will be there, right? So like that, if you want to have valuation classes categorization, then you will see lot of around 50 plus valuation classes you will have. Now whenever you are creating a material, let's go to the where you use this material type if system. uh, so where these valuation classes will come, as I mentioned, these are further classification of material type, right? Let's go to material type. Means you have to create one material mm01, and here you have to give your industry sector and your material type. Okay, pick one material type, and I just want for now only accounting one view. Okay, if you see just do one, in this only you will see the valuation class in the material at the time of material creation, or in the material master. In the accounting one view you will see this valuation class. So you know this, Just use something. You what you used? Which material type? Oh, come on. So this is the material type. If you click on this, if you click on this I symbol, you will find which material type you used. This is the material type. Using this material type, and these are the valuation classes you got in the system, right? But you see here only three are there. So this is not a material type, right? Material type is this. You are not inside the material type. Now you are using this material type, and you are able to see your valuation classes. You are able to use valuation classes. Now let's go and see what is there in that material type. /o new screen. OMS2 is the transaction code to see the material type. Here let's pick that you created ZAUT, right? ZAUT. So look for it, ZAUT. If you go inside, and you will see, you don't see anywhere here valuation classes. You didn't see anywhere valuation classes. Okay, so this is a different classification. But what you see is account category reference. Okay, why this account category reference is here in the material type, and in the material you have a option to select which material valuation class you want. So this is the provision what SAP has given in the screen of OMSK. In the OMSK screen, so your valuation class will not be directly assigned to this material type. Instead, your material type is assigned with account category reference, meaning you have so many valuation classes like this, right? Around how many? Here only you can see 9, but in real time you'll have close to 50. So all these valuation classes are not assigned directly here with the material type. Instead, what SAP has given, they came up with the account category reference. Okay, what this will do, this is almost same as material type. For example, this is a finished product, right? One material type finished product. So what SAP will do, they group all these three valuation classes of finished product and will give only one. Let's say ZA, okay, ZA B, car, auto, bike, car. Okay, this is the account category, I mean reference for finished product. So you can give one account category reference here, Z monitor, RAM and keyboard, and this can have one more account category reference, Z mouse, U, M. So what does it mean? So you are grouping these valuation classes into one, and you assign this group to your material type. Okay, you assign this to your material type. So your material type has this account category reference, but this account category reference has these many valuation classes. Okay, let's go back to the material you are creating. Since this is your material type, and this material type has account category reference as, where is that screen? Go to your material type. No, just go there. What is your material type is this, and it has account category reference as ZAM. This ZAM has all these valuation classes. So let's go to ZAM. If you see ZAM, account category reference, right? See, this one, two, these two are there, right? So meaning your valuation classes JetBike, JetCAR has one account category reference. So you are grouping all these valuation classes if you want, if you have more than 5, 6 or 7, and you group all these are finished products. All these are finished products, and you can group them into one, and you can use that account category reference in the material type, and this material type whenever used in creating of the material you can find the valuation classes. Now um, let's understand this OMSK screen. Okay, let's go to OMSK /n OMSK. So what SAP configured such a way that, so you create your valuation classes here whenever you want. So you create your valuation classes here how many ever you want, and you also categorize them, okay, group them with account category reference. And once you are ready, come back here to the same screen and you assign your material type to that particular account category reference, so that whenever you are creating a material you will see the valuation classes drop down, you can pick. So what will happen if we don't group them with account category reference? So you will see in the system all of this, and there will be many chances you might pick this valuation classes to this, or you might pick this valuation classes for this. Very sensitive information, very confusing. So that's the reason SAP has given. So whenever you create a finished product with the material type finished product, and you will only see valuation classes which are belong to only finished products, so that it is easy for you to pick the right valuation class for that particular product. Okay, now so you have, let's say for example you're going to create these bike, car, or maybe you can just take this semi-finished product, monitor, RAM and keyboard. Let's say these are all semi-finished products. So material type is semi-finished. Okay, this is semi-finished, and the valuation class, so they are like monitor, RAM and keyboard. Okay, so now let's say when it comes to my material, it should be my material type. So let's give one material type Z H semi finished good. Okay, and you will also have account category reference. So always remember how many material types you have, those many account category reference you will have. So let's have one account category reference. So Z uh, account, okay, let's say DF. Okay, this is your account category reference. So what will happen? So your material type, let's keep this here, and so your material type is this, and it has this account category reference. It is finished, semi-finished product, and this account category reference are linked with these many valuation classes. Clear, right? Now since these are ready, so let's go and create in the system all these details. Okay, let's create material /n mm01 is the transaction key to create a material. Pick one industry sector, and to create a material you need to have material type. So let's go and create a material type first. /n OEM-S2 is the transaction code to create a OEM-S2. Account category OEM-SK. Valuation classes also OEM-SK. Okay, now you go to OMS2. Since it is going to be semi-finished product, HALB is the standard material type SAP has given. Copy this and create your own semi-finished product material type. Okay, enter, enter, enter. So your material type is ready. Just change the name according to your business. So semi-finished. So automatic account reference purpose, right? So just mention something for you to just remember. So come back, which means your material type is ready, and let's create a material. MM01 pick as mechanical engineering and select your HALB. So semi-finished account category reference, right? Enter. So for now, for our understanding, I'm only creating so with two views only. So this is going to be, let's say we're going to create a monitor screen. Okay, enter. So base international material group, and you are here in the validation. If you drop down, so you will see still old validation classes. These are not your validation classes, right? So now let's set up a validation classes. Okay, let's go to new screen /o, where you do the validation classes OMSK, and you understood, right? So first create your account category reference so that you can assign them directly when you're creating validation classes. So what is your account category reference? Is this, right? And this is for account category reference for so let's say one. Okay, just give one name. So go to validation class. Here you create your validation classes. Go to new entries. Let's give one name to these validation classes. Monitor is ZMNT, ZRAM, ZKEY. Okay, these are all your validation classes. Paste and give your account reference. Okay, enter. So give appropriate names. This is for monitor, this is for RAM and all. Okay, save. So you have created your account category reference. You have assigned this account category reference to your validation classes. Now you assign your account category reference to your material type. So what is your material type? ZF, ZSFG. Okay, enter. So because you copied from HALB material type, so it also copied that particular material type account category reference, but it is not your account category reference. You created your own account category reference, so I assign that. What is your account category reference? Is ZADF, this one, right? Enter, save. So configuration is done in OMSK screen, right? So now you come here and see. You see, still the same. Okay, just refresh the page, meaning /n mm01 start creating one more time, semi-finished product. Okay, give your plant and monitor screen, all details same. Come here, you should be able to see your validation classes. You see, so now you're creating monitor, so you can create monitor. You're selecting validation classes monitor. If you are creating this material for keyboard, you can just mention here as keyboard and you select validation class as keyboard. So according to this validation class only you will have your GL accounts, right? So you can have a further differentiation of this material type like this. This is semi-finished product type only, but within the semi-finished product you have so many products. So select this monitor screen. So this is for, so let's say like 5000. Okay, hit enter, save. So your material is ready. Okay, 549. So your material is 549, 549, right? So let's check if you want to see the MM03. Is it 549? Yes, 549, right? Now using this material, let's create a purchase order /n ME21N. So give your vendor purchase ordination, all your ordination details, and then 549 is your material. So you're ordering 25 quantities from this vendor, right? So enter. Is not maintained by purchasing, okay. Let's mm01, let's create a new material having all the views, okay. Enter. So purchase ordination, not all. So purchasing, okay, and accounting, general plant data, okay, default them and enter. So your plant, your storage location. So the purchasing group, so pick your valuation class, this monitor screen, and just give the price 5000, save. 551, right? 551. Now create a purchase order, standard purchase order /ME21N with that material, right? For that, just pick one vendor, so, and 551 is your material, and you're ordering 25 quantities. And this is my plant, this is my storage location, and this is the price. So let's give 5000, okay, and try to save the purchase order. You saved it, so your purchase order is ready. So copy this purchase order, go to MIGO to do the goods receipt. So goods receipt, paste and enter. So select the line item, save. So system throw error message saying that automatic account determination for entry into INT chartered account, BSX is the transaction key, and there is JMNT is your valuation class is not possible, right? Let's go and do the equation which we spoke, that is /NOBYC. This is the equation in this. So you have to select your error messages BSX, right? So BSX, so go to BSX, inventory posting, give your chart of accounts, enter, and here what it's saying is you don't have these JMNTS valuation class. Now copy your valuation class, okay, and see your GL accounts given by your finance team, okay. So for now, let's consider that this is going to be your GL account, okay, because it is configured in the system correctly. So let's use that. Otherwise you will ask your finance FI consultant, he will give you this particular GL account. So since we don't have any FI candidate with us, so we are just using what is already exists in the system, okay. Let's say this is going to be your GL account for this valuation class. So save. So mark somewhere this valuation class. So this is right. So it's going to be your where is it? Z monitor, yes, MNT, right? So this is going to be your whenever you're now doing the GR, so accounting document should have BSX with this GL account, okay. Now go and save this and come back and come here and do the goods receipt again and see what system is giving you the messages. So this is a PO item, okay, save. So now the same error message in accounting automatic account determination with your chart of accounts, and now it has a WRX. This valuation class is missing. Now go back, go to same transaction code OBYC, and go to WRX, and here system not able to see your valuation class with respect to GL account. So now here you will see this, and now this time you are going to give this GL account, right? So instead of this GL account, now we will see what is available in the system, and it is working fine. So let's take this GL account. Looks like it is working fine, configured correctly by FI candidate, or maybe in this training software. So hit enter. So it took, save it. Okay, so what is this? This is ZMNT, right? So this is your GL account. So paste it here. So now let's do the /migo, go to receipt, the save PO. Okay, select, okay, and save, post it. So it got successfully posted and your material document is ready. So since it is 101 moment type, you should have your accounting document, right? So open this material document, go to document info, find your accounting document, and here you should be able to see your transaction keys and your accounts. Let's say BSX, it should be like 300000, it's right. WRX 191100. So it picked the right jail account, right? So this way we can see, we can configure that, respect to your valuation class, and those GL accounts should come automatically. Okay, so now do the /n invoice verification also using Miro. So let's see what GL accounts, or what transaction keys will come here in this Miro transaction. So take your, okay, /n me23n. I don't remember my purchase order, so I'm going to this. So this transaction will give me recent purchase order which I used. Okay, hit enter and select it. So give your baseline date and come to basic data. So this is the amount, paste it here, enter. It became 0, so now you can post, right? So save. So it got successfully posted and your document is created. Now let's go and see the document display, and go to your follow-on documents, and you should have your accounting document. And with this accounting document, you see you have WRX. It was credited last time, right? So now it is debited, and KBS vendor account is credited. So this is how automatically system gives you the respective GL accounts and post those transactions accordingly using the transaction keys. Okay, so the same process you can see in the pathwise also, SPRO, SAP reference IMG. So you will have this under Metal Master account category, automatic account determination. So you will find this valuation and account assignment. Under this you have account determination, and you will take this, so account determination without wizard option, and here you will, so this first step is like your valuation grouping code is active. Okay, so this is always will be active only, and it will be active at the time of your software configuration starting stage. So you can group together your valuation areas here only. You can, so these are all your plans, and this is your company code, and here only you will assign your valuation grouping code. Okay, let me talk about this valuation grouping code. Okay, valuation grouping code is important because, let's say, go to your Excel sheet. I have a plant 1 and plant 2. Okay, these two plants are there. Let's say I have 6 plants are there under my company code. Okay, under my company code there are 6 plants. I want all this, or maybe this first 3 should have top accounts, and these 3 plants can have another chart of account. Okay, you understood, right? For this purpose, instead of you assign individually, you group them together so that they all can use one chart of accounts. Okay, otherwise you need to maintain a lot of chart of accounts, lot of GL accounts. Chart of accounts are nothing but list of GL accounts, right? So it's impossible to have one GL account for other plans. That's the reason we SAP recommends, activate this validation grouping and then group your plans and assign your validation grouping code. And in this place, if you see OMSK screen, right, here you will create your account category reference and you assign account category reference to your validation classes, and this validation classes you'll assign to account category reference you'll assign to material type, right? That you have done, and then define. Here in this screen you see all these movement types are linked with this transaction keys. You see KBS, KDM, PRD. Okay, all these transaction keys are linked with this movement types. Okay, so each and every movement type has their respective transaction keys. Okay, you'll also see here account modifier. Account modifier is a further classification of transaction event keys. So this is only active and available for PRD, GBB and KON for consignment. Okay.